What's going on, folks? Welcome back to your favorite show on the internet. This is After Further Review, episode 114. I'm your co-host, Jared Brown.
I'm your other wonderful, great sounding co-host, Shaquille Brown.
I'm your other awesome co-host, Nestor.
You picked awesome. That was your tagline? Okay, we'll work on that. I'm everybody's hated co-host. I'm Malin. How's everybody doing today? It's almost bedtime at this point. Listen, we got the show rolling, people. Going.
We are all here, folks. We apologize for being about 45 minutes late, but you know how this show rolls. So without further ado, let's all take a little shot. I would like to say this is Shaq's birthday shot since he just turned 51 yesterday. So everybody go ahead and cheers.
51. That's the last thing I want to do is see a 51-year-old version of me somewhere down in my life.
Is 51 like his age, or is that like the inch circumference of his head?
Okay.
So, Shaq, how was your birthday?
It was good. Besides, I was going blind.
Yeah, I told you to be careful with the midget strippers, man.
Hey, is there such thing as federal?
Why's Jalen rubbing his nose?
Nestor
a little hot,
died.
Jalen?
You got another one of those coming at halftime, Nestor. So,
Oh, God.
I lost Nestor. I can't see Nestor anymore. Is he okay?
He's all right.
those are the size shots you gotta watch Miami games with nowadays. So,
Folks,
I like how Nestor thinks chasing it with a beer is going to help him at this point.
especially not a highlight. Yeah, folks, I mean, we do talk about sports in this godforsaken show. Talk about NFL, NBA. We do this every single Wednesday night at 9:30 p.m. That's a lie.
sometimes don't even make it on Wednesday. When we do, nowhere near 9:30. So.
Honestly, it's a miracle you guys are even hearing from us right now because it's not looking too hot a second ago. Anyway, let's just get into the goddamn show. So let's start off recapping week 14. We're going to start with Baker Mayfield holding it down at SoFi Stadium, coming back against the Raiders in a, was it 17-16 win for the Rams. If anybody would like to volunteer to go first on this one, how many more games do you think the Rams could win with Baker Mayfield leading them?
All of them.
All right. Who do they play next? Can you go over that?
That's a great question.
I think they got one more good game out of Baker before Baker reminds himself, he's like, you know what? Baker Mayfield and crumble underneath his own weight. His confidence is going to get to him. He ain't doing this besides one more game. He's blowing his smoke. He's blowing his load, okay?
All right. Don't that. Go ahead.
All right,
and
so they got 4 games left, right?
Yes, go ahead.
Okay. So the first one, they got the Packers.
Yeah.
What do you guys think about them beating the Packers?
No.
No.
Possible, but unlikely, right?
They play
Right.
Denver.
Then it's the Broncos, and Russell Wilson's still trying to figure out what decade he's in right now after the hit he took last week. So he's probably not going to be playing in that game either. So what about the Broncos? I mean, it wouldn't really matter if he played or not. They'll probably be better with ripping a quarterback than Russell Wilson. But do you guys think he's going to beat the Broncos?
Yes, actually.
Yes. Okay, so there's that one win. Nestor, I'm watching you. Okay. Seahawks. They're going to play the Seahawks the last game of the year. We already beat the Rams. Okay. That's an L. Nestor. Just shake your head, yes.
Beating the
Don't be that
Seahawks.
guy that said to say.
There you go.
Okay.
And then you got the Chargers. So they really have one game that they're probably going to win. But at the end of the day, like Baker Mayfield is like that ex-girlfriend that you wish that you never would hear from again. Yet every 6 months, like slides into your DMs to remind you that hey, I was still something at some time. Like, when is this man gonna die? Like, how many lives does he have? Like, it's ridiculous. I mean, come on. Like, miss me with the whole before the waiver wire thing even happened. I already booked my plane to LA because that's where I wanted to play. Like, he had a choice. I don't know. But I think they're probably going to win one game. One game the rest of the year.
Yeah, I agree. That last, I think it's the last one, or game before the last one. They aren't beating any of these good teams. Simple as that. The Broncos they can beat, and that's about it. Monday's game should actually be pretty good though against the Packers. Nestor,
What's this man struggling?
Yeah, if they beat any team, it would be Denver. It's hard to see them beating any other team other than Denver or the Seahawks.
Okay. It's
Okay, Nestor.
shots are
Okay.
being taken right now, and they're not in the glass.
Yeah. All right. Hopefully Tua doesn't end up like
I'm
Edward
kidding.
Scissorhands again. That's
You
fine.
don't have to go there.
Have to go
At the end of the day, though, like
Sensitive.
I'm not like. Are you guys surprised that Baker Mayfield played like okay? 'Cause I wasn't really surprised. I mean, let's not forget the fact that McVay took Jared Goff to a Super Bowl. You think
Right,
he
right,
can't
right.
get Baker Mayfield to show up for one game, even a couple games, and he wasn't even lights out. He was 230 yards and a touchdown. It wasn't really anything in the first half. But McVay did what he did with Goff a lot, to where he'll call the play quickly to get up to the line, and then he's talking in Mayfield's ear about what he's seeing in the defense before they cut that helmet mic off with 10 seconds left, and then he's out on his own. But I mean, I don't know. Maybe because he was only there for 3 days, but Baker Mayfield still has talent. But like Shaq said, look at one good game every now and then. It's gonna be nothing.
Yeah, it was fun to watch on Thursday, but yeah, I think it's just a flash in the pan. Moving on to the next game, we have, of course, the Ravens and the Steelers game.
Jesus Christ.
Now listen, all you guys wanted to be here. Say the Steelers, man, okay. Well, look what happened. They still lost, 16-14. And we're not even going to talk about the loser here. We're going to go ahead and just leapfrog right on over that. Are the Bengals going to win this division? Or are the Ravens going to give them a run for their money?
First of all, nobody.
You didn't want to talk about the backup bowl, Jalen?
Two,
Backup QBs playing?
two
That's
things.
a god awful football.
Nobody deserves it other than the Bengals. Like, yeah, the three other teams is godforsaken division, god awful, and that game terrible. The one, did I not pick this team to the Steelers to win this one?
Yeah, you did pick
Yeah,
them
the
to win.
one time I picked this godforsaken team to win this game, they couldn't do it. Every time I get my hopes up on this team, they find a way to let me down. Every single time. But
Well,
yes, the Bengals gonna win this, and if any other team wins this, I don't know how.
two things though. First of all, the Heat won.
Okay,
Second of all,
let's relax.
the Bengals have the hardest schedule, I believe.
And they're still gonna beat.
So I wouldn't be surprised if the Ravens like having this luck, because that's all I can call it, because they've been like teetering around the big fat L every time. So the Ravens are playing teams like the Steelers soon again. So the Bengals have the hardest schedule, but they deserve it,
First
obviously.
of all, I don't need that
That's a
negativity.
much better team.
Okay.
What did your
Can we
Dolphins
just
do last week?
keep rolling?
Talking all that shit.
Go ahead, man.
Listen, at the end of the day, like, Nestor's right that the Bengals have the hardest schedule going forward, right? But Lamar Jackson's not playing for another 2 weeks with that PCL strain. So Cleveland and Atlanta are not just gimme games for this Baltimore team. Like, we've seen what this offense has been able to do without Lamar Jackson. So Jalen, you okay there? You looking for something, Chief?
Yeah,
What's going on
you
over
could
there?
hear Nestor's headphone cable rub against the microphone. I was trying to find a way to remedy that. Go ahead.
But so that's why I think that the Bengals are at least going to win the division. because the Ravens are going to be without Lamar for at least 2 more weeks, and the last game of the year is Cincinnati against Baltimore. So even if Cincinnati slipped a little bit, I think they'd be fine in taking care of Baltimore. But I'm going to put this out there, Jalen. If Cincinnati wins their next 4 games against Tampa, New England, Buffalo, and Baltimore, I think they have a really good shot at becoming the number 1 seed in the AFC.
Yes. Yeah, they have a tough remaining schedule, which is why I think that depending on when Lamar comes back, like he's not going to play this weekend, but hopefully next weekend, their schedule is a bit more easier for the Ravens, which I think the Ravens have a better chance at winning this thing out. But if the Bengals do win that gauntlet, they will definitely look like the best team in the AFC, undoubtedly. Like that's a tough road to go through. But
Well, you got to think about it though, right? Because KC holds a 1 game advantage on them right now,
right,
and they're tied with Buffalo. So if they beat Buffalo, they'll have the tiebreaker. All Kansas City has to do is slip up 1 game, and if Cincinnati won out, they'd be tied, and Cincinnati would have the tiebreaker because they beat Kansas City already. So
right.
I mean, Kansas City does have a pretty easy schedule. The toughest opponent is going to be my Seahawks, which isn't really that tough right now, but it's the toughest one because they play Houston, Seattle, Denver, and Las Vegas. If they slip up against just one of those teams, man, Cincy has a chance, and I'm rooting for it. I want Cincy to have the number 1 seed, mainly because I'm sick and tired of Nick Wright's ass talking about how they need to rename the AFC Championship game after the Chiefs.
Yes, please.
Gets me off.
Yeah. Shout out G Money in the live chat. Says the Ravens are not going to win that division. It's very straightforward. Thanks for G Money coming through. We will talk to him a little later on the stream at around 1 o'clock in the morning. Last game on the recap. We have to talk about it, but the Panthers did upset Seattle 30-24. They're now 5-8. Are the Panthers a legit threat to win the NFC Sewer, or the NFC South?
What a joke. What a division.
That's a sad thing.
Joke. I mean, the Saints, the Bucks, like that's a joke. They look good against Atlanta, and Malin had picked Atlanta as like, what, the best worst team,
Right.
and I
The
agree
best
with him
0-2
after that.
team.
But they look really good. I think the first game they played against them, they lost just by a bit, and that next game they won. So they look like they can come out second in that division now because they've been improving a lot, and they're just digging deeper, I think, than Atlanta is. Atlanta looks hopeless, in my opinion, especially in fantasy for me. So I got rid of any Atlanta I had, especially Mariota or Pitts. So, well, Pitts got injured. So yeah, that division is just hopeless as a whole.
Go ahead, Malin.
I like how we're talking about the games where the Steelers lost and the Seahawks lost, but we're not talking about the game where the Dolphins lost again multiple times. Now, that's fun. As far as the NFC South, what pisses me off about the NFC South is that they're a terrible division, yet my Seahawks went 0-4 against them this year. I don't know how that happens. That's just bad. Like, on the game on Sunday, like, I swear to God, I looked down and opened my beer, and I looked up, and we were down 17-0. I was like, what in the hell just happened in, like, a minute 30 in the game? Like, this is just freaking crazy. So, as far as, like, who's going to win the division, I still think it has to be the Bucks. Have to be the favorites, right? Like, the Bucks got to be the favorites.
Yeah, I think so. I still feel like they are the best worst team there. The Panthers, the Falcons, and the Bucks, I think are all just in that like neck and neck situation right now because their schedules are all very similar from here on out. So I think they all have a very even chance at winning the division. But at the same time, I still like the Bucks to pull out at the end of the day because the Panthers will turn back into the Panthers at some point. They'll lose a game that they need to win, and the Bucks will win that one game that they need to win to separate themselves. So it'll be interesting, though.
I do think that whoever wins the division is probably going to be 8-9.
Yeah.
Which in a 17-game season, for someone to have a losing record and win the division, that's saying something. So I do think it's likely because I looked at the Bucks schedule. Even if the Bucks win it, probably going to have an 8-9 winner with a losing record coming out of the South, and it's stupid that they'll host a playoff game.
Fun.
That is the worst aspect, is that we're talking about a division that nobody's going to come out of it with a positive record, and there's going to be a team in another division with a winning record. Probably won't make the cut.
There's always that one division every year.
Yes, it's very depressing. You know that team sitting at home like, really, we want to watch the playoff game with the Bucks with an 8-9 record. Here we are, 9-8 or whatever. Can't make it.
Jesus.
So I don't give a shit.
Normally, I'm a proponent that if you have a losing record, you shouldn't go to the playoffs. But if you remember back in 2010, my Seahawks 7-9 won the division, and then beat the defending Super Bowl champion Saints at home with the Beastquake run. And if that rule didn't apply, then the Seahawks wouldn't have been in the playoffs. We never would have had that history happen with Marshawn Lynch. And I think the NFL is better for it. But I don't think we're better for it with an 8-9 Bucks team making the playoffs.
I hope the Bucks make it and get embarrassed first round.
They won't. They'll beat the first.
Get their shit kicked in
for some messed up reason, and then they'll.
Because I don't think I can mentally handle another Bucks Super Bowl. I can't. Can't do it.
Well, you won't have to worry about that this year.
Yeah.
No, but I don't want them to make it anywhere close. If they even compete in the Super Bowl, no, I can't mentally handle it. The city's gonna lose their mind for that. So
if we have to endure any more Champa Bay, we're all gonna lose our minds. Like, you'll never see Nestor take his hat off. He's already worried about his hairline.
I'll stay in Colombia next year.
the only man to lose a week of football and still show up with the fucking hat, proud as can be after a fat L.
Hey, Miami won. Same.
Okay, but at the same time, when it comes to the Bucks making the Super Bowl, Nestor, Jalen, and I, like, we were just at the Monday night game, right?
Right.
How indignant were those Bucks fans? They were acting like we won, we're going to the Super Bowl. I was like, you beat the Aints. Like, come on, man. Like,
They are convinced that they're
really?
destined to the promised land.
Like Cowboys fans.
And
All
then
right.
they got clapped by the Niners, so whatever.
Let's keep it moving. We have a bunch of news to get into, so let's roll the news. We're taking off again. All right, I don't know what's going on with this stinger there, but news for the week. We are going to start off with a bit of sad news from the other day. Mike Leach, head coach of the Mississippi State, he passed away at just 61. Seemingly pretty unexpected thing due to some sort of heart complication. It looked like he passed away, or he had this heart complication at home, and then was taken to the hospital, and then that was that. But it looked like he was just at the school a couple of days before. Was like getting over pneumonia, and then this happened. So I don't know if there's some kind of connection, but just really sad. What did you guys think about Mike Leach passing away at just 61?
Like, it's very sad. 61, I still feel like is a very relatively younger age to pass away in this new day and era. So, just have to see somebody go, big name, which doesn't make any like better for us or whatever. But like,
Yeah.
just see somebody go, and like you said, unexpected. So, always prayers to family and other people like that who are very close to him and everything. So, very sad to hear.
I had a friend last year that they lost their dad around the holidays, so this just makes me think about that.
Yeah.
To say that he left his mark on college football would be an understatement. I heard something about his air raid offense. So it's just a sad loss, especially around this time. So
True.
See, Nestor says what he was going to say, and that's why I should have gone before him, because now I'm going to sound like an asshole. No. So, yes, he did leave his mark on not just college football, but the NFL because of the air raid offense. And what the air raid offense was basically instead of taking 5 minutes out of one practice and running three drills where we're going to have four verticals, we're going to take 2 hours out of our practice and we're going to run 17 plays, and all of them are going to be four verticals, but with different aspects to them. So, like, he really revolutionized the shotgun or wide receiver sets. We're never going to run the football. We're going to use the passing game like we're running the football. He was the one that kind of invented that, right? It was one of the more, like, funny, eccentric coaches. I don't know if you guys have ever listened to one of his press conferences. He was the coach of Washington State University for 11 years after Texas Tech, which he got fired from Texas Tech because he put a ESPN broadcaster's walk-on son in some sort of like shed because he was like disobeying whatever. So he got fired from Texas Tech. Goes to Washington State. I got to hear so many press conferences from this guy, and he rarely talked about football in any of his press conferences. Like, it was like a running joke on which reporter was going to ask him some off-the-wall question, and he would just go into a tirade. I swear to God, back in 2016, I listened to a post-game press conference, and he talked for 5 minutes about what were the best microwave TV dinners that you could buy and eat on any given day. Like, for 5 minutes in a post-game press conference. And you're like, is this man out of his goddamn mind? Like, he got he was talking to a sideline reporter just last year at Mississippi State, and he noticed that she had a ring on her finger. And he said, "Are you married?" She said, "No, I'm engaged." And instead of talking about the game, he talked for 2.5 minutes on what she should do and just elope and forget your family, don't become a bridezilla, like all this crazy crap. Like, he's just insane. He really is. But at the end of the day, you have a lot of people that are talking about, well, he should be in the Hall of Fame as a college football Hall of Fame head coach. He doesn't qualify because he only won 59.6% of his games, and I guess the threshold is 60%. But where I'm going to sound like the asshole here is that no, I don't think he is a Hall of Fame head coach, even with that, because he never played for a BCS championship, never went to a playoff, he never won a conference championship, ever. His two best seasons were both 11-2, one with Texas Tech, one with Washington State University. And his average win percentage is 6.5 games a year. So he was funny. He was eccentric. He did change the game. I think people like Andy Reid and others like took it to another level. But as far as like X's and O's and like what he did on the football field, no, he's not a Hall of Fame coach. But it is very sad that he passed with a sudden cardiac arrest, is what they classified it as, at his home, and he died that night in the hospital.
G Money in the chat is saying he was asked if he would rather be a pirate or a Viking, and he spoke for 20 minutes about the benefits of both without saying which he would actually be.
He talked about being like maybe he'd leave college football and be an alpaca farmer one time. Like, he's just completely different from any other head coach you would ever hear in your life. Like, one of the people, really quick before we move on, just one more story about Mike Leach, because he really was a great soul, right? So there was a new announcer for Washington State University football, someone that would like do all the PA stuff, right? And he was living in one of the athletic rooms. I think it was the archery sector of the athletic department. And Mike Leach was walking by one day and said, "Oh, I've always wanted to go in there one time and see what it was like." And he went in there, met this guy, and this guy told the story about how they literally drank until 3 o'clock in the morning on a Tuesday and never talked about football. And Mike Leach just rambled on about like 100 different topics. And I was like, it's a Tuesday, and you got a Division I college football coach in the archery wing of the athletic department getting drunk with someone that he never even met. So he was just a different kind of man.
Yeah, clearly a different breed, separate from us all. God bless him. God bless his family. Hope they process this as smoothly as possible. So, next bit of news, we have the actual college football playoffs in place now. So we've got TCU in Michigan, and then Georgia and Ohio State. What do you guys think about the good old college football playoffs?
Playoffs? Don't talk about playoffs.
I had to.
I will go first. I am excited to see this game because honestly, and you guys can disagree with me if you want, but the NFL has been a snooze fest. Especially because the Dolphins are getting clapped every time they go to the West Coast. So I want to see what Donovan Edwards does for Michigan. I want to see what the TCU quarterback does.
Come on,
So
frogs.
I am excited to see this, and I think Michigan will win.
Okay. It's a hot take.
Okay.
Go ahead,
You
Bailey.
want to talk about a snooze fest? I think the college football playoff is going to be a snooze fest.
Amen.
I think TCU gets clapped by Michigan. I think Ohio State, that shouldn't even be there, is about to get clapped by Georgia. And I think
Ohio.
Georgia's going to clap Michigan. I think that's just how it's going to go. I don't think you're really going to have a close game out of any of the three. I really don't. I think Georgia's just that much better than everybody else, and I think Michigan is that much better than TCU. So I think it's going to be boring. I don't know what other team I would have probably put in there from TCU because I do think that TCU earned a spot in there based on their regular season.
Watch
But
TCU
you
win
can't
now.
tell me when you say things
Settle
like
down.
Georgia, Ohio State, Michigan.
What's this guy, Max? Was
Horned
his name
Frogs.
Max?
Really?
Watch the frogs
I mean, come
win.
on.
The toads.
I mean, come on. I mean, it's just not the same.
Go ahead,
And
Shaq.
the only thing entertaining about this playoff was Nick Saban in the 11th hour getting on every news channel he could, campaigning on why his two-loss Alabama team should be in it. That was the only thing funny about this potential playoff. But I can't wait till 2024 when you get a 12-team playoff. Because anything can happen when you have to play multiple games. You put Georgia in a round of 12 teams, and they got to play a few games. And they're all going to be better. Like anything can happen in that. But if you're only asking Georgia to beat Ohio State when Ohio State isn't Ohio State like they were like 2 years ago, and then Michigan's on Georgia's level. But yeah, so Georgia's probably going to win it. What are you guys looking at up there? You guys like Jalen's eyes keep running across the earth and space.
Whenever it's a computer thing, but we can hear the computer literally working, and it sounds like a fucking rocket is about to take off.
3, 2, 1.
But yes, I think Georgia's actually going to clean this shit up here, and that's the full expectation. And yeah, a big gap between them and everybody else right now. So, I mean, granted, it's still be interesting to watch, but it's one of those predictions that we all, except for Nestor, can kind of first be able
This
to
is gonna
predict.
be there on fucking pins and needles watching these
I'm going to be at the game.
frogs getting clapped.
I just wish that Georgia's quarterback was better than what he really is because I would love to hear the name Stetson Bennett in the NFL for like 10 years. I just think it's such a funny name.
Probably playing for the Jets
Stetson Bennett.
Oh,
Come on,
Jags.
that'd be great.
or the Jaguars. Oh, gosh.
All right, playoffs. It's been real. Moving on into the NFL, Kyler Murray did indeed tear his ACL. Why is this funny?
Horrible people.
It's not that it's funny, Jalen. It's just that, like,
It's
there was a Call of Duty update today, so was this by accident that he tore his
All right.
knee up? Was this Call of Duty? Like, I don't know.
I just want to say, that I watched.
maybe. I don't know.
I watched the beginning of this game on the third play. I was like, this motherfucker took 3 steps. What's he doing on the ground? Get up. Get up. And then I hear this man's out for the count for the rest of the season. He's like, all right. Okay. Non-contact. Which don't get me wrong. It happens. Shit like that. It's freak things. He moves the wrong way. Injuries happen. But it's like, it's like Colin Murray to sit here and blow his shit out. And take 6 steps. It's like, damn. I got to stay at home. I gotta get comfortable. I gotta heal.
Some Call of Duty.
Work on my KD. I gotta get things working. So you look at this man. It would be different if it was any other athlete. Like Tom Brady, you would feel bad. It's like, that man at home stressing. He's at therapy every day. Kyler Murray leaving his room. This man ain't watching a single play of football until he gets back.
Tyler Murray right now is on his 11th hour of playing shipment on Call of Duty. He's going to play this for another 8 months.
This man don't give a shit about no damn football. He don't care. This man's leg is propped up on the pillow, headset on right now like us, playing Call of Duty. So that's the only thing that's funny. Damn well that man is the best thing to happen to his Call of Duty career.
Well, God bless him, because if he didn't go down, we would have lost that game. So, anybody else want to go?
I just think it doesn't take long to figure out what we all think about Kyler Murray.
Yeah, no.
We didn't even let Jalen finish the sentence
Yeah.
on what the topic was
No need.
before we laid into
Awful.
Jesus.
No.
Well, if you don't have any other thoughts on Kyler, we can go right into.
We just need to find
T.Y.
his name in
Hilton.
the Call of Duty lobby somewhere.
Yeah, what's his game?
At Playboy, Arizona.
Can you find us a Twitch account? I'm sure he's streaming his shit on Twitch right now. His Twitch lobby's probably more entertaining than him playing football. So,
Yeah, so the Cowboys signed T.Y. Hilton, veteran receiver. Looks like the OBJ the sea of rumors with the OBJ stuff was fucking outrageous. So I'm kind of glad that you would imagine is over. But T.Y., think he will be a big impact for Dallas? Slight impact? Not at all?
Listen, I just want to say one thing. Like, how bad was OBJ's workout? They were like, you know what, we can't sign him, but let's go out there and grab a guy that had 23 catches for 300 yards and 3 touchdowns last year. Like, how bad was the workout? Like, could he not even run? Like, what was he out there in a wheelchair? Did he have a walker? Like, what the hell happened? That you went from we need OBJ to win the Super Bowl to be like, hey, sight fellas, all we need is T.Y. Hilton. His 23 catches was golden. What the hell happened?
Yeah, I don't. Apparently, I guess he's still not in game shape, OBJ. So, I mean, hey, best ability is availability. So, if you can't be out there, come on, Ty.
tell that to the NBA.
Moving on to last but not least on the news. G Money saying OBJ didn't work out for them.
Oh man, G Money. Next year, your Dolphins are gonna get slapped in Buffalo. I know, G Money, but don't talk about that. They're playing in the snow and everything.
That's awesome.
Tua might die, but we don't have to talk about that.
Tua might die. So this, I think it's Sunday is the final, but we have the Argentina and France final slated for the World Cup showdown. Now with an Argentina supporter here. Nestor, how nervous are you on a scale of 1 to 10?
10, but let me tell you something. I feel like that Saudi Arabia game helped us a lot because after that, we understood the game a lot better. We have to contain their biggest star, which is Mbappe. And, my God, I feel like we have kids on that team that can get the job done. We looked really good against Croatia, and Croatia knocked out
They
Brazil. And people have to understand that. Croatia may not have like star strikers, but they definitely have the midfield. They have Modric on that team,
Right.
by the way.
They got
And
the
then they
speed there.
have definitely have the defense, and we made them look like shit, to be honest with you, because we beat them 3-0 and we looked comfortable. I'm not saying it's gonna be like France is still the, you know, they should win it, but I'm betting on Argentina. My heart is with Argentina. We have two magicians on the team. We have Messi, and people forget we have Di Maria, which is
He's
like
still
a
there.
secret weapon
Still there.
on the bench. So if we can bring him out and he can work his magic, he is built for clutch moments. So him, Messi working their magic, that midfield being as effective as it is, and we have kids in the defense doing good. I have a great goalkeeper, so I'm hoping we'll pull through and make legacy.
I am rooting for Argentina to win this. Not because of Nestor,
Because
Nestor's
French.
a Heat fan, so
The
I
French.
really don't give a good goddamn well what like Nestor likes about a lot of things.
Come on, man.
But listen, like when you talk about generational talent, when you talk about our generation's best football soccer players, right? Like Messi's one of them.
Right.
And we have not had one of the so-called of our generation's like greatest soccer players win the World Cup.
Right.
Ronaldo, Neymar, Messi, like those are like the big three, right? Like right now, none of them won it. It was surprising to me to find out that Messi hadn't even ever scored a goal in the round of 16 until this year. So he's in a place where he's never been right now, and he's playing well. He looks rejuvenated, and I actually think that if you're playing regulation, I think that Argentina can get it done. I really do. I'm looking at like I was talking to G Money about it earlier, and him and I were talking like a 2-1 game, maybe a 3-2, something like that. The
Right.
only thing that worries me is that if it goes to penalty kicks, I think that's where France would definitely have the advantage during the penalty kicks. You're talking about the defending World Cup champions.
Yeah, they got more
You're
experience.
talking about
Right.
a lot of good. You're talking about a lot of good strikers.
Yep.
I think if you go to penalty kicks, I think the pressure goes. I think it gets amplified so much more on Argentina because you know they're going to roll Messi out there for the first one.
Right.
Messi's going to go out
Right.
there for number one, and the amount of pressure on that one, if he doesn't make that first one, it could derail the whole the whole thing. So they got to get it done in regulation. But I'm hoping to see it. I want to see it. The man deserves it. He's been a statesman for the sport and for the world, not just on any club he's been on and on the world stage, but he's been a class act. And I really want to see him get it done. So I really do hope that Argentina hits. And you know, who likes France? Like no one likes the French.
And anything.
Like
Oh, you like
I mean,
French
come on.
something?
Oh,
we-
one
we've
thing.
had to
There is
bail
one.
him out.
Flaws?
We've had to bail them out in 2 world wars. For some reason, after 9/11, they said that we couldn't use their airspace when we wanted to attack
It was-
Afghanistan and Iraq. Like we needed their airspace. Like shut the fuck up. Like just don't be mean to anyone. Like
Right.
I've been to France. I've been there. Just nasty people.
I just want to
Like,
say.
nothing good about
I
it.
just want to
Yeah,
say
nasty.
one little
We should
thing.
have let the Germans keep them.
I just want to say.
stop at the French border and say, have 'em.
I just want to say one thing. Just so you guys know, my grandfather, he's going for France to win, and this
Bless
man,
his heart.
he's an atheist. He does not believe in God at all. He's like 70 something. And G Money, just so you know, in the England versus France game, when Harry Kane was about to take that penalty, this man, an atheist, was praying to God that Harry Kane would miss the penalty, and he missed the penalty. Just saying.
Okay, well, You about to hear
The World
something from
Cup.
G-Money when he comes out.
World Cup makes you, do some things.
That
man
man called on the power of Christ.
I don't believe in you, but if you exist, now's the time.
And also, like, did you guys see the celebration in Argentina when they made it to the final?
Yeah, that's
You
wholesome.
see that passion?
It is wholesome.
Like they all look like Chicago Cubs fans after how many years of not getting to the World Series and then winning the World Series like that. That's what they look like. So that's what real soccer passion looks like.
Right.
Not some of this fake U.S. crap we get every now and then because we can never get out of round 16. But that's fine. But yeah, so Argentina, let's go. It's the only time in my entire life I'll ever root for anything with Argentina. Other than that, I don't really give a shit. Let's go, Messi.
I'm also pulling for Argentina for the same reason. Messi, he's due for one. Out of all the superstars, he's the least dramatic. Like you really don't hear any nonsense about him. So seems, just like a legit dude. And Argentina's got a great squad. Messi's been close a lot of times, but I feel like they've got a really good shot. France is not going to be an easy one, though. I think Mbappe's about to be all over this. Been there, done that. He'll have himself a game, but it's going to take... Messi's also going to need to have himself a game, like a statement, like,
Right.
Peace out.
Yeah.
I'm out on this one. Take this with you. So, pulling for Argentina, and I think they can pull it off. So, yeah.
And this won't be Messi's probably last World Cup, but it'll be the last World Cup to where he can truly be a difference maker. In another 4 years, he's just going to be that much older. Like, he's already on the back end of his career. And so you want him to be able to win one when he was a main factor, not just somebody on the roster that was like a retread. You know what I mean?
True. Shaq, any take on this?
Which is very bad juju on the show, but I'm also going to agree with y'all.
All right.
Argentina.
All right, viva la France.
I feel like he deserves it. Like Milan said, fuck the French. Look, Argentina, I feel like deserves it, and it's their time. So, like you said, anytime the show agrees upon any one thing collectively, it's never usually a good sign. But
Chag don't.
we vote Argentina, so better hope for the best.
Oh man.
All right.
Also, when you think about France too, just because I hate the freaking French, like just fuck
Jesus.
them. Like the biggest thing that got going for them is the Eiffel Tower, which is a has-been radio tower that doesn't work
It's
anymore.
not that great.
Like that's your biggest top to the world.
For radio tower.
That's what you got. Like just I don't know.
They got one good
something.
thing.
I hate the French. Bunch of assholes.
All right. We are going to go to a break. When we come back, we'll have G Money on the other side. Quick, just with G Money, he says he believes Argentina will win the game, probably 2-1. If
no, G-Money,
Argentina
don't.
watched the England-France game, they will have learned how to shut down Mbappe. A little insight there from G Money. All right. We're going to go to a break. When we come back, we'll have G Money joining us through Discord. So be back in a bit.
Hey there, After Further Review fans. We got a question for you that's bigger than Shaq's goddamn forehead. So here we go. Who, in your opinion, is the most underrated player heading into this year's NFL season? Is it a kicker like Justin Tucker? Is it a wide receiver like Keenan Allen? backup running back on your favorite team that probably sucks? You let us know who is the most underrated player in this NFL season, and we'll let Shaq know. Bye.
Who led the AFC in reception yards?
Tyreek Hill.
Incorrect.
Just say an answer. Somebody.
Who is Jamar Chase?
There we go. 200 to G Money.
NFC for 200.
This person led the NFC in reception.
Who is Cooper Cup?
Correct.
Alex, I'll take your mother for 200.
This team had 3 players on the top playoff reception leaders list.
Buffalo Bills.
Correct.
Who are the Los Angeles Rams?
Incorrect.
Is Kansas City?
Correct.
How many points was that?
This person led the Bills in playoff reception yards.
Come on, man. There's a number. I know it's 13.
Oh, you did get it right.
Yes.
Gabriel Davis.
God damn it. Yes, Gabriel Davis.
1,000 from right under Shaq's nose.
How are you doing now?
We're guessing jersey numbers.
Did you know AFR is also on Spotify and Apple Podcasts? Click the first link in the description below to listen to the most recent episode of the show.
You cannot dispute it, man. I have a more complete team than you.
I've already given it to you, Malin. I already said you have the best squad out here.
I heard you, and that took a lot for you to say.
Squad out.
You have the most complete team, but I wouldn't say you have the best team.
What team is better?
Mine.
All right.
Oh my god!
Ignorance. Oh, y'all. Ignorance.
Shaq still thinks this team is good. He has Bam Adebayo and James Harden.
But so? James Harden is still good, okay?
All right, tell the 76ers that.
Y'all took my first 2 or 3 big men that I wanted. Stop it.
Tyler.
Besides my... y'all...
You had the first pick.
I know, but I didn't think y'all were gonna choose big men heavy off the jump off the big.
Well, he was the MVP.
In the NBA, there's not a lot of big men in the NBA.
I assumed y'all were gonna be those type of people who go choose guards and forwards heavy. So I was like, maybe I have at least one. I had at least one round.
You thought we were all stupid, huh?
No, that's all I said.
I thought all dumb as him. I would just like to point out one more time that Shaq and What's Up With That was trying to sell us
On Zion.
How this man actually looks like he slimmed down, actually put on a little bit of muscle tone, and can actually be like a powerhouse of a center.
on freaking
And
Zion.
here we are.
And
Here we are.
And y'all would
we needed a big man.
y'all would have
Y'all
would have judged me for picking Zion. Zion has not played in almost 2 seasons. That man has not played basketball in about 2 seasons. Don't let me pick this man.
That man went with Odebayu over Zion.
Yes, you know why? Because that man played.
This is Shaq's a sly dude. This dude talking about.
Zion-
Hey, come on, look at Zion. Look at how
I
good he is.
try to sell you.
Come on, look at I ain't trying to have.
I am
not
the
me.
used car salesman of the basketball world. Look at him, bro. He's there. You got a family of 5. I can stack them in here. Family of 5. Drive 'em around town.
What you did was like you had two choices. There was like a 2020 Tesla that was broke down on the side of the road that just needed to do battery in Zion, and you went for the '86 Buick Cutlass to buy you. Like that's what you did. Like you went for old reliable.
Like
That
this
was
man
your
wasn't the
choice.
third best team, wasn't on the third best team in the NBA this past season.
Can we stop with
my
the third
God.
best team statistic?
Best team.
Why be hating on me for choosing LeBron as like one of y'all wouldn't have chosen LeBron if it was still available?
Shaq had the first pick, and I knew 12 hours ago he was taking LeBron James.
True or untrue? Would y'all have chosen LeBron if he was still available at some point in a team?
No.
Stop
Not
lying to
number
me.
one, no.
Stop lying
I
to
would
me.
not have taken LeBron. Nope.
Why y'all sit here both face lying to me? This is not an audio podcast. This is video. People are watching us.
Shaq, hold on. My first two picks were Giannis and Joker, and they still would have been my first two picks.
Yep.
If LeBron James is still available.
But would you have not chosen LeBron if he was still available at some point?
Maybe
Stop.
it's a third pick, but that would have been like pick 12. Number one.
Okay.
If I could have any two picks, I would have taken the same as Malin's, Giannis and Jokic first two.
It was great. Episode 90. Thank you y'all for watching.
Shut it down.
Shaq's six man would have been the barbershop show that LeBron James does. That would have been his
He'd have taken the shop number
He'd
6.
have taken the top. That would have been his sixth pick. He probably thought that came with LeBron James.
Like, hold on, Shaq, that does not count. And Nike shoes and Blaze Pizza.
I get LeBron 12s. I don't even know if LeBron has 12 shoes, but he gets LeBron 12s.
I thought Shaq tried to close the show out 2 minutes ago.
And here we are, still roasting me for another 2 minutes after trying to close the show out.
I think Rudy Gobert ragging on Shaq.
Nestor took Rudy Gobert. We're racking on Shaq.
This is why I try to close the show out.
For LeBron.
Remember to follow the show on Instagram and TikTok at AFR Sports. That's it, AFR Sports. Now back to the show with your hosts Jalen, Shaquille, and Malin.
Welcome back, folks. The smooth sounds of Nestor serenading you.
The hell?
How was everybody's break? You got G Money here.
A problem, clearly.
My break was good. I had to refresh my drink, but you know.
Shaq?
I got the pee. Got to listen to us to complain about his shots.
when they drink tequila.
Oh, tequila, yeah. Tequila's not my friend. And it was okay when we were all together, but man, I've had some bad experiences with tequila.
Mm-hmm.
Mainly, how was your break?
Our break was good, talking about the Dolphins, how they were going to get clapped up in Buffalo with all the
All right,
smoke.
moving on.
Nestor was talking about Nebraska hookers. I don't know what was.
Who was talking about
There, it sounds like he went there one time and left disappointed, but I don't know.
Well, anybody that goes to Nebraska gets disappointed.
Leave us guilty by
Maybe not if you get a hooker. I don't know. How about we just take our shot and move into some sports, for God's
I had
sakes?
to get everybody in the video, so I wanted you all to fill the space. But now the space has been filled.
Oh, that's exactly what's wrong with Nebraska.
Raise them on high, gentlemen.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Mm-hmm.
Cheers, gentlemen.
This is gonna be bad.
Nestor, don't die.
Oh, Nest over there.
Right.
Seems like he's diving into a pool every time he takes that shot.
But how do
Nestor's already sweating. Look at him. Come on.
What's the tequila you're drinking?
They're drinking some Don Julio, not the 1924, but they're drinking some Don Julio.
You're drinking Don Julio 70. It's very good. Nestor loves it.
Yeah, we just lost Nestor again. What the hell?
That's because you do too many shots of that, and
Two.
Okay.
Two.
Or two.
We got him back.
Let's get to the community comments. See what you guys have to say at home. So, Shaq ran a little poll yesterday on who was going to win between the Lakers and the Celtics. Love TikTok.
Great equations on TikTok.
We're going straight to the TikTok poll results. Now, this is what you guys at home said. 67% of you picked the Celtics to win. 33% of you did not get past the second grade and picked the Lakers to win. Dulce Hoops says this didn't age well. Has Shaq also agreed with the Lakers?
Oh my God. It looked really good up until like 3 minutes left in the fourth, Shaq.
It did. He was on to something until they turned back into the Lakers. Salvation Spears says Celtics. Celtics, I mean, they did fight in the playoffs. I don't know exactly what that means, but I think you picked the Celtics, so good for you. Yeah. What did you guys think of that game last night?
It was a very.
I mean, didn't the Celtics kind of remind you of the Golden State Warriors in the first half, the way they moved the ball around and were hitting threes from everywhere? I mean, when I watched that game, I was like, man, this reminds me a lot of Golden State when they're on. You move the ball around and you're hitting open threes. And then in the second half, not quite sure what happened, but all of a sudden, the Lakers went on this freaking crazy ass run to actually basically not just catch up, then take the lead. And you're like, whoa, wait a minute. What the hell happened? And then, of course, the Celtics go on a mini run to tie it, send it into overtime, and then Westbrook turns into Westbrook and tries to win the game a few times and puts up shots he probably shouldn't have. Because he was actually playing pretty decent through the game.
Yeah.
I mean, he wasn't taking shots he shouldn't take. He was passing the ball. He was rebounding. He was playing good defense. And then, he reverted. And you go into overtime, he just reverts back to old Westbrook of last season.
Yeah. My highlight of that whole game had to be the shot that sent the game into overtime where Tatum hit it over LeBron, where he just put him in a spin cycle and splashed it. That was just, oh man, that was beautiful. But great game.
Yeah. It was better than I think what we thought we would have gotten out of this game at the beginning of the season because the Lakers have been playing better.
Yeah.
If this was the Lakers of October, early November, this probably would have been a blowout. So let's give them their credit where it's due. The Lakers have been playing better, and they did put up a fight. So we can do a little bit of golf clap there. Shaq's all over there testing his pulse because he actually bet on the Lakers again. I don't know what the hell he was thinking. But yeah, it was close. But in the end, the Lakers did what the Lakers do against really good competition. So I mean, it's almost like they're Anthony Davis or bust at this point. If Anthony Davis goes off, then the Lakers have a really good shot at winning the game. If he's a little bit cold, which he seemed to be in the second half of this last game, then and anything can happen. So I'm glad the Celtics won and restored order. Well, not restore, but keep order in the universe.
Right.
Because the Lakers really had no business beating the Celtics. And I was going to be really pissed off if we ended up losing that game.
I love the way you phrase that. He had no business doing it.
Shout out to David in the chat. It's a small clap, mini clap for the Lakers. They do get that little pity clap.
Why you trying to avoid saying that?
What?
Versus man's name.
Shout out David. Thanks for tuning in, my guy. Appreciate it. Yeah, let's hop into the L's of the week. I'm not gonna bother playing.
We
the
appreciate you, David.
Animation because we don't want to hear another rocket launch in our ears. So, L's of the week. Let's start off with the godforsaken Detroit Lions beating the Vikings. We were all wrong on this one, folks. That was a long game to sit through, but final score was 34-23. Lions had their way with the Vikes, and for any fantasy folks out there with Justin Jefferson, he still put up some points. Just putting that out there. But the Vikings got exposed. Can we all kind of agree on that one? Like,
Yes.
there was some exposure on Sunday.
The Vikings remind you at the end of the day, is no matter how good of a season we could possibly get, we are still the Vikings at the end of the day. So you're welcome.
What did you guys think about this game overall?
Nobody has any business losing to Detroit. Let's start with
Didn't
that.
Kirk have a good game?
I don't care how good of a game.
But the defense
They
let
lost.
down, and now it's like, can we depend on that defense? No. And Detroit just keeps improving, and they're bound to be exposed. So that's it.
How is this the same Vikings team that beat Buffalo like 3 weeks ago in Buffalo? Like, that's what's weird to me, is that they lose games they should win. And let's not kid ourselves. Like, the Lions have won 6 of 7. So they're not a bad football team right now. When you take the totality of their year, yes, they haven't been very good, but they have won 6 of 7. Okay? But the Vikings should have won that game. And you said, what was it? 34-23?
Yeah.
Is that what it was?
Mhm.
31-23? The game was never even that close. The game was never even that close. Like, the Vikings were never in the game. They were double digits behind the entire game, basically. Like, there was never a point in the game where you thought, like, yeah, the Vikings are going to come back and win this game, or they really have a chance, because every time they did something, then Detroit would answer back. And so I think that Minnesota is one of those teams that's going to rack up a lot of wins, but you're not going to be able to trust them in the postseason. If they're favored in any game in the postseason, you might as well take the other team, because they're probably going to lose the game. But they had an opportunity to clinch the division last week. And just, how do you not clinch that? How do you not clinch a division against the Lions like that? Like, it was just, I don't know. I did not see it happening. It was really a bad pick on all of us.
G Money.
Yeah, I think all of us knew that the Vikings had the ability to put up points and have put up points in the past with their wide receivers and running back. Their defense has been questionable, and it got exposed. I mean, Detroit puts up points. It's just that their defense hasn't played anywhere close to as well as their offense. The last few games, their defense has been playing better. What this tells us about the Vikings, their defense is not that good. And yeah, they're going to go to the playoffs. That's not in question. But they're not going to get out of the first round. They're not, unless their defense does a 180. They're just not going to do it. They're going to go up against too many good teams that can put points up just like them, but can also shut them down.
The only conundrum to that statement, though, and it's weird because I believe it, that I don't think they'd get out of the first round. But again, 3 weeks ago, they beat the Bills. And I think we can all agree that the Bills are better than just about every team in the NFC, right? Like, almost. Like, they would be outside of, well, I know that Philly's only lost one game. But the Bills are one of the top 5 teams in the NFL. And they beat them at home. And they did stifle the Bills' offense to a certain degree. Like the Bills' offense did not score a lot of points, so it's almost like helter skelter with it with this whole team. It's like on times where the offense is supposed to score points, they don't, or the times you think the defense is going to show up because they did something the week before, then they don't show up. So I think the biggest thing that's going to be the Vikings' Achilles heel is their consistency, which is weird because they've only lost 3 games, so obviously they've had to show some consistency. But I just don't think you can trust what you're going to get out of the offense or the defense from one week or the next right now. It's really weird.
David Wiley's shouting out his Lions. 3-1-3 stand up.
Oh, snap!
Oh. I don't know. Lions they put up what, 70 plus points his last 2 weeks?
Let's go, St. Brown.
Okay. Fantasy interest.
Hey, the Lions had the best offense in the NFL until they got shut out, I think, at like week 5. Like through the first 4 weeks of the year, they had the number 1 offense. And then they put up a big old 0. So, I don't know. But hey, they can still make the playoffs.
They could. They very well.
Well, here's a question for you. Detroit's going to have the Rams pick, and that's going to be a top 10 pick, probably a top 8 or top 6 pick. Do they feel comfortable enough with Jared Goff as their quarterback not to take a quarterback, to take a defensive player?
I don't know, because I think the very Lions thing to do would be to draft C.J. Stroud and him be a bust, because I'm pretty sure he will be. So that would, if the Lions are going to draft anybody, it's probably going to be an Ohio State University quarterback, and that would be funny. An Ohio State University quarterback having to play in Detroit, Michigan, with Michigan fans and be a bust is the most Detroit Lions thing I've ever heard of in my life. So that should happen. We deserve to have that happen, and we deserve to enjoy it.
What else was a huge loss this weekend that we also picked on? The Jags.
Oh God!
Completely embarrassed the Titans, 36-22. This was a really strange one. The Lions Vikings was strange, but I don't think it's as strange as this. Derrick Henry was having a field day in the first half of this game. Second half, he turned into Casper the Ghost because you could not find this man doing anything. The Jags just figured out how to make him disappear, and they were just all over the Titans' offense. They were just forcing turnovers left and right, and it was case for the Titans. This was a shot with our Ride or Die in 5 picks because I was really dependent on this, and it did not happen. What did you guys think about the Jags just having their way with their division rivals?
All these games that we didn't bet on to like really be like that, just went right against us this week. we had too many similar votes this past week, and it shows clearly by the records. I think we had a total of 5 combined wins between everybody, and it's really becoming an issue. I mean, props to the Jags for finally looking good for a week, but
you gotta change your picks.
I'm sorry. And then y'all judge me for picking it. But granted, if I would have picked some ignorant shit like I was supposed to last week,
you'd be looking really good right now.
Top. So clearly, I need to go back to picking the most out of pocket picks, and I'd be looking like a goddamn genius. So teaches me a lesson this week.
Go ahead, Malin.
I think Trevor Lawrence going for 380 yards and 3 touchdowns in that game. I think that was the biggest eye-opening thing to me because he's been underwhelming as a number 1 quarterback chosen in last year's draft. Now, granted, he didn't have a whole lot of talent around him, and he had a head coach last year that wanted to grind up on college girls more than he wanted to coach the team. But even this year, he hasn't really been that stellar. Like, he's had, flashes, whereas, he's had a few good games. But this was probably his best game as a pro. And I would like to see Trevor Lawrence continue to do what he's doing.
It was nice. It was nice.
Well, just for the simple fact that, I would love for a small market NFL team to find that franchise quarterback for 10 or 12 years.
Yeah.
That's what I root for in the NFL. I root for small market teams that are never going to really be able to afford like a big free agent name or something like that. Like I root for them to be able to get 10 to 12 years of success from a franchise quarterback, give the fans a little bit of love, even though I hate Jacksonville. But I always root for the small market teams to get a franchise quarterback, because when you get a franchise quarterback, you're at least looking at like a decade of like anything could happen. You might be able to win one. You know what I mean? So I really want him to work out there. I just don't know if he will, but that was a really great game by Lawrence.
G Money.
Yeah, I concur completely. And last year was a wash. I don't know if you can even count that as a pro year, just because of the coaching staff he had around him, and if he even got any coaching. I think he will get better. Will he be that franchise quarterback? I don't know. Next year will tell. Next year will tell. We'll know. Because normally, if you look at guys coming out of college, it's usually their third year they start to blossom. I'm looking at this as being his rookie year because, like I said, last year, he got no coaching. I mean, he really didn't. So I look at this year. Next year, probably get better. And then you could see possibly, I mean, depending on how Jacksonville drafts and what free agents they do, they could be in the playoffs. But it'll be a year, 2 years down the road. Yeah, and that was a game that we all picked, and we all picked wrong. But what can you say? I mean, didn't look like it should be that way. It looked really like, I mean, Jacksonville. You look at Jacksonville and you go, okay, what do they have? I mean, wide receiver wise, yeah, I don't know.
Nobody.
Christian Kirk, right? Captain Kirk. That's what they got. They got Captain Kirk, and they got pretty much no one else wide receiver. I don't even know who their tight ends are. I doubt if a Jacksonville fan can tell me who their tight ends are. So yeah, I mean, you know. Maybe Tennessee thought the same thing. Maybe they just thought this would be a cakewalk, because it doesn't matter what coaches tell you. It doesn't matter how they try to make you think that this team can beat you. You get that attitude that it's Jacksonville, or they're a bad team. I'm not worried about it until you're on the other end of that. And you're looking up at the scoreboard. It's the fourth quarter, and you're down by 14 points.
Well, fortunately, that was not the last blowout, because the Giants got their shit blown through. 48-22 was the final score against the Eagles. This was at home, and the fact that the Eagles almost hit 50 points was they were just having a field day. They were throwing everything, running everything. Jalen Hurts was all over the place. Can we finally settle down on the Giants talk? Like, is this all right? Giants are still the Giants. Or you guys still have some hope left?
I was never the biggest believer of the Giants, to be honest with you. There's going to always be a time where the Giants go like, all right, time to settle back into the to what we truly are.
Assume the position.
Exactly. Just go ahead and starfish the rest of the season and just call it a time. The Giants haven't been good till Manning was there. Let's be honest. True or untrue?
True.
Exactly.
I detect no lies.
Exactly. But here we are. They have a couple good streaks, and all of a sudden we're like, the Giants. Yeah, I was like, calm down.
They let me down against the Cowboys, so after that, I have no fucking.
As much as I hate the Cowboys, I still expected the Cowboys to beat the Giants. I hate the Cowboys, and I was like, Giants, go ahead and sit down.
Whooped.
Go ahead and assume the position.
Go ahead, Malin.
There's just something about the Eagles that makes me not like them right now.
Everything?
Like, there is this. I don't know, and it's not just because they're from Philadelphia. We all know what I think about Philadelphia. Um, but they just have like this bravado that they think they're unbeatable, and I think they're going to coast their way to a Super Bowl this year with Jalen Hurts as their quarterback. And blowing out the Giants does nothing but inflate that ego a little bit more, which makes me a little bit happy because I think they're going to stroll in the playoffs and get clapped at some point. So I didn't really mind it because I don't think any of us really believed that the Giants were going to be a great team, anyways. But anything that can make the Eagles feel invincible and then get proven wrong in the playoffs makes me a fan of that game. So it is what it is.
G Money.
Well, this is Daniel Jones' year to prove that he deserves an extension, and it's not going to happen. The Giants will be looking for another quarterback. He's just not the guy. And let's face it, this GM and everything, they didn't draft him, and they don't want him, and he's just not that good. I mean, Jared Goff is much better than Daniel Jones. You know, any other quarterback that came out in the last 3 years probably is better than Daniel Jones. He's just not that good. He really isn't. And his only selling point when they drafted him was that he went to the Manning's quarterback camp. I'm like, okay, that's what sold you? I mean, 1 year at UNC, but you sort of there sold you into him being a first-round pick? I don't know. But no, the Giants will only go as far as Saquon Barkley can carry them. And he's just one carry away from being on the IR.
Well, good luck, Giants.
What are you guys laughing about now?
Saquon Barkley could turn his head and ruptures disc C3 to the lumbar region. Man, built for long term.
The last L of the week. This one brought, I mean, all the other ones was like, all right, whatever. But this one, I think, brought joy to all of our hearts. The Bucks getting blown out in San Francisco. Thank
God bless them.
Thank you, 49ers, for taking care of business as you should. The Bucks were lucky to even score one touchdown. They were straight up lucky to even do that because that was a shit show. And Purdy was out there having himself a blast. And I loved every last second of it. So, what do you guys think of our old hometown Bucks getting their cheeks clapped?
I had a great pick putting Purdy on my fantasy team because I knew they were about to clap cheeks. The Bucks barely beat the Saints, and the Saints are a hot mess. And they made San Francisco made my Dolphins. I mean, they had a convincing win, I think. And I'm happy to see them just they got so many playmakers. It's only right that they just expose the fuck out of the Bucks as they should.
Damn.
And I'm happy to see it. Why not?
Go ahead, J Money. Speak your heart.
You know, Tampa goes up against the number one defense in the NFL. They get shut down. For Tampa to have won, Tom Brady would have to have been Tom Brady of 2006. He's not. They could not compete. They could not. They couldn't score on the defense and the 49ers offense. Pretty withstanding. They could have put any one of us in at quarterback, and we would have still won. Because all we would have done was hand the ball off to McCaffrey or Debo, and they would have just gashed the shit out of them like they did. And then, when we saw an opening, even with my old fucking 63-year-old arm, I could have hit someone for 10 yards and watched them run for 80.
Yeah, I mean,
Good mental.
I don't know.
image.
That game makes me nervous over the fact that the Seahawks have to play them tomorrow. That doesn't make me too happy because they do got a really good defense, and Seattle hasn't been playing that well. But other than that, just
I don't want to talk about that game.
just watching Bucks fans walk around town the last few days with the tail between their legs, just hating life. No more Bucks flags flying out of the cars. Feels good. I like it. We're going back to the early mid 2005 to 2015 Bucks is what we're looking at right now. I love it. Love every minute of it.
Can we not? I hope they lose. They start losing.
San Fran just spread them 813 cheeks open. It's like, bet. Bet.
If somebody had a dime for every time we said cheeks on this show,
Somebody might as well win the lotto because that's all we ever do.
It'd have like $2.30.
hey, that's $2.30 you didn't have before you watched this show.
You're welcome. And if you're a Bucks fan, that's a lot of money.
2/3 a gallon of gas.
You can thank us for that.
Exactly. You almost got a gallon of gas right now, so you're welcome. Man, anything these Bucks can do to lose, I support it. To see Tom Brady sit on the sideline upset, man, it brings joy to my heart.
That man.
Just upset. Man, you lost a model wife to come do this?
Can we all agree he's not playing for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers next year?
God, no. This man
No.
play for Benton Middle School before he comes back and plays for the team.
She's tearing it up for 5 seasons.
Man, ain't coming back. Damn. If he even hears the name Tampa Bay Buccaneers, man, he's gonna have chest pains.
I'd be shocked if he didn't sue the city of Tampa Bay after next year.
Exactly. He's gonna be begging to his wife. Come week 18, this man's gonna be like, "Take me back. I'm sorry. I didn't mean it. I promise you. Just go ahead."
We can move back. We can move back to Massachusetts. I swear.
Kids, I would look. If I gotta watch this little buck cartoon and take y'all out to ice cream every single night,
Your jiu-jitsu instructor can move in.
man, yoga instructor, all of them can move in. The AB, he could keep his room.
Well, that's where we stand.
This show likes talking about nothing.
That's where we live. All right, ride or die in 5. Let this ship take off.
Yes, 11:35 right now. So about 12:35 we'll be done with the show.
Yep.
Y'all strap right on it.
Ride or die in 5. This is where we give you the best 5 betting predictions for this weekend. And we do it in 5 minutes. 5 minutes. That's what we do it.
We're talking about a person or
So everybody is clear on that 5 minutes. So quick recap of last week.
No.
It was shit for all of us. We all had losing records. Yeah, I'll just jump right to Malin is sitting at 116-73 plus 40.
Damn right.
I am at 132-98 plus 34. Shaq is at plus 14 with his overall record being 119-105. G Money 33-31 plus 2. And then Nestor, he could not afford this one. He took 11-14 minus 4 now.
it's gotta be your week, Nestor.
Damn.
Unique week.
Hey,
We're all.
I would just like to point out that Shaq is the only one with over 100 losses right now
First of all,
in the show.
First of all,
So,
stop talking about Nestor having being the
Hey.
only person
I
with a
started
loser.
yesterday. What are you talking about?
you're distinguished, Shaq. There you go.
My losses.
You're pick LeBron in your draft pick.
You know who's second place in fantasy right now?
Oh my god.
Not them.
You know who's first? Who's first?
You, but guess what? I'm second. That's all that matters.
This conversation makes me want to jump off the fucking bridge.
Honestly, I went from first place last season to second place this season. What more do y'all want from me? Y'all asked for perfection. I could barely give y'all.
Jalen, you weren't wanting to jump off a bridge last year come playoff time in fantasy football. You were riding high. You coasted like 12-2 and won the whole damn thing.
This man couldn't buy an L. Here he is.
Hey, in my work league, I'm in the playoffs.
Exactly.
Just fine. But in this league,
This man's
in
in
the
the
garage.
outside looking in upset. Upset.
I'm Squidward right now. I'm looking at SpongeBob and
And
Patrick.
him and Nessa just looking around like, yo. Nessa's
He said-
Dumping him into me.
I like how I made one mention of Shaq's like
he gets an excuse. Most of
2.5 year betting record, and then he starts throwing all kind of shade at all these people in fantasy football.
I know.
Who's attacking me first? Let's start with that.
My whole team died.
Nobody is
He's like-
attacking anybody.
He literally just
So
point out
we're
that
not
he had
talking
100
fantasy.
yards
Okay,
first.
I guess the whole ride or die in 5 is out the window at this point because we're talking about fantasy
We
football.
spent 5 minutes on the injuries.
right now. Jesus,
So petty,
Shaq.
y'all.
Somebody give Shaq a hug. He's upset.
I'm upset because you ain't got to point that out that I'm bad at Rider Down 5. You got to point
Hey,
that out. I know. we
I'm
know.
just saying, somebody get Mr. Fantastic in there and wrap them arms around his head. Let's get on with this guy for a second. Goddamn thing
You
here.
better have a 60-foot wingspan to be hugging around my head. But anyway,
I think he could do it.
Now,
dislocate your shoulders in the process.
dislocate every bone in your body. So we're gonna start off with tomorrow's game. We've got a nice NFC West showdown between the Niners and the Seahawks. Niners are 3.5 point favorites on the road. First time these.
But
two
how many?
teams-
What's the point?
3.5 points is the spread in favor of the Niners.
Oh, okay.
First time these two teams met earlier this year, the Niners took care of business. Do you guys think that the Seattle Seahawks are going to get back on track and right this wrong against a divisional rival? Esther, I'm going to start with you. Careful.
I'll take the 49ers and the points. That's it. That's all I'll say.
I like your pick because it was quick. So let's go to G Money.
All right. Big drastic change. Go ahead.
What you got, Jim Money?
I'm going to take, unfortunately, the Niners minus a 3.5. We've been giving up 200 yards a game rushing the last 4 games. On this season, we're giving up 171 yards a game rushing. We still haven't figured out how to stop the run. I don't see that changing tomorrow night. I really don't.
You feeling all right?
And it doesn't matter who they start at quarterback. I mean, hell, Shanahan can start at quarterback. Since Purdy may have a rib injury, they're still going to run all over us. We could put all 11 in the box, and they're still going to run on us.
Yeah. Unfortunately, I agree.
God, what is
We
going
can't.
on?
Listen, man, he just told you that. God damn it, 223 yards rushing is what the Carolina Panthers had last week on my Seahawks. Sam Darnold threw for 120 yards. Purdy doesn't need to throw for anything. They can just run Debo Sam. Well, Debo Samuel's out now. Heck, that could actually help a little bit. But still got Christian McCaffrey. He's still healthy. And that defense is really great. And Geno Smith has made a few boneheaded decisions the last few weeks. And he can't, there's zero room for error against this defense. So I got to go with the Niners on this. I didn't think that this was going to, I think it'll be a better game than what it was week 2. I will say that.
Yeah.
In week 2, Seattle wasn't letting Geno Smith even throw the ball 10 yards. Okay, they were still trying to figure out if they could trust him. They'll throw the ball around. They'll score more points, but I think they won't score enough points. Our defense is just so goddamn bad. It's atrocious. So, yeah, 49ers and the points. But I'll be really happy if I'm wrong.
Yeah, me too.
All right.
I mean,
Go ahead, Shaq.
Y'all gonna hate me because I'm also picking the 49ers on the points.
What is happening?
I mean, the confidence level.
I'm actually not going to hate you. I'm actually a little happy about it,
I'm
Shaq.
just saying, the confidence level after coming off this last past game, there's no way they're not really like, I really feel myself, and then going to this game, they're trying to solidify themselves and make sure get as high as they can. So it's like they're trying to finish off strong, and they're really about themselves right now after the way they did it. That we're not happy about how they did the last team, but like they're really about themselves right now, and they're really gonna ball out. So give them 3.5 points.
The question is Jalen going to take a Seahawks team that lost to the Bucks in Germany, then got clapped 35-7 by the Niners?
You guys all that shit for no reason because I'm definitely taking the Niners for the 3.5 points.
Yeah, see, so like, this whole time he's like, "What is going on here?" But I'm definitely doing the same damn thing as everybody else. Hell, kind of.
One person would take the Seahawks, but shit, I guess not.
I would flick your braid if I was next to you right now. What the hell is that? Just
We're all in the same boat right now. So far, here we all are. Just letting everybody know.
Seahawks are gonna win.
Exactly. And that's what we got right. Now, moving on.
it's all part of the plan, fellas.
Yep. Moving on to Saturday. We're in that time of the year. That's how you know we're late in the season when there's a game on Saturday. 3 games on Saturday. We have the Dolphins and the Buffalo Bills in a blizzard. This is the night game on Saturday, so the Dolphins are 7.5 point underdogs on the road, plus 280. What's gonna happen here, Nestor? Is gonna get buried in a snowstorm? Tua's gonna be unconscious underneath a heap of snow, or are the Dolphins going to thrive in the cold weather?
They're going to throw. I'm just kidding. I just want Tua to be not throwing the Edward Scissorhands like Malin was saying. I want him to be okay after this game. Tua, please just stay healthy. We cannot depend on that O-line. Just find a way to get out of it, dude. Just throw the ball somewhere. Don't get hit, please.
You know you got to make a pick in here, right? Can't just wish for him to be healthy.
Big statement.
Please don't get hit, Tua, please.
Okay.
Just saying prayers right now.
God, Jesus Christ, if you're hearing me right now. Yeah, the Bills are gonna cover this completely.
Okay, there we go.
This man went from like the fastest pick we've ever had in Ride 5 to pleading with Jesus for 5 minutes that Tua doesn't get hurt.
I'm telling you guys, it's gonna be bad.
Oh God. No, I think the Bills are going to win this game. I think the funny thing is that the Dolphins are going to be wearing all white and like 6 or 7 inches of snow, and the Bills are probably going to be in all red or all blue, like so they'll be able to stand out. But the Dolphins got white helmets, white jerseys, white pants. It's just going to be kind of funny to see them out there in the snow. But I do agree with Nestor on this that I don't want Tua to get hurt. Because I do think that the Dolphins win healthy and they're on their game. I think they could make the playoffs interesting. They're one of those dark horses in the playoffs. They could knock off Kansas City or a Cincinnati or a Buffalo or something like that if the playing field is even. Not in 6 or 7 inches of snow.
Yeah.
But I do think they're a dangerous team, and you want the best teams to be at their best strength going into the playoffs. So, but I love me a snow game, man. It's going to be a lot of fun to watch on Saturday.
Amen. Shaq,
I'm also going to choose the Bills in points, unfortunately. Look, I'm just saying the conditions are not with Miami right now. This is not the environment for them to thrive. You just don't go from playing games in Miami and things like that to like 7 inches of snow. Go ahead and thrive. If Belichick from last season didn't even trust his own team to play in bad weather, and that's a team that could. They live in bad weather.
Right, they're used to that.
Yeah, much less a team that isn't. It goes to shows like a team's not gonna do well. And seeing as their biggest power and strengths in the receiving core, it's like, do you really trust your receivers to be out there in the cold trying to catch his deep balls and things like that? No, not at all. So go ahead and choose Miami to win this, unfortunately.
I'll just throw in mine real quick. I agree with you guys. Buffalo to cover the 7.5 points. G Money.
Yeah, I'm taking Buffalo minus the points. The Dolphins are built on speed, at least their offense is, and that weather negates that speed. And aside from the fact, when they played the Chargers last week in SoFi Stadium, they had heaters because they were cold. It was 78 degrees in the stadium.
Jesus Christ.
It's going to be like 18 degrees in Buffalo. They don't need heaters. They're going to have flamethrowers. But ain't going to help them any now, unfortunately. And yeah, I don't want Tua to get hurt. I think that he could be the quarterback the Dolphins have been looking for with the coach they have now.
I would just like to say, if we're going to the next game, that how fragile is Tua if we're all basically pleading for him not to get hurt? Like, there haven't been a lot of NFL games played in the snow and in bad weather. But we're like, please, Jesus, keep Teacup Tua healthy. Don't break the porcelain doll. Like, come on.
Well, I mean, didn't
sad.
the Bills injure him the first time?
Yeah.
Was it the Bills
And
or
then-
was it Cincinnati?
Well, I think it was the Bills, but it might have been Cincinnati beforehand when the coach goes, "Oh yeah, he seems okay. Go back in and play."
Oh, okay, yeah, yes. And then the Bengals are the ones that turned them into scissor hands.
Right.
But yeah,
Yeah.
so I don't know. But hey, the Bills also don't have Von Miller for the rest of the year, so we'll see what happens. But Teacup
Alright.
Tua. There we go. That's a new nickname for me.
We're all 2-2 right now, so keep that in mind. Move on to the next one.
Jesus
we have the Bengals coming to
Christ.
town 4:30 this Sunday. Big game for the Bengals, where they are 3.5-point favorites here on the road. Raymond James Stadium, about to be a bunch of depressed ass motherfuckers because I'm taking the Cincinnati Bengals to cover these 3.5 points. Tampa Bay is a bad football team. Just kind of simple as that. So the Bengals are not. We will beat them here at home. I'll be happy. And we will move on to the next game because, give me the Bengals 3.5 points. G Money, go ahead.
I'm gonna take Cincy. Even though Higgins and Boyd may be out, Jamar Chase is not, and he'll light him up. He's gonna get 200 yards and probably 2 touchdowns.
Did you say that Cincy is a 3.5-point favorite on the road in Tampa?
Yes, sir.
That is just downright disrespectful.
Yeah.
But I'm taking Cincy in the points. I just think that this is some rare air that Tom Brady is breathing right now, to where he's at home and he's a 3.5-point underdog. I hope he's looking at a picture of his supermodel wife and asking himself, is this bullshit worth it? But no, I'm taking Cincy and the points. I just think they're the better all-around football team. And Cincy's playing good. So I don't know what type of Oompa Loompa shit Shaq was trying to do, but you're not a midget, Shaq. Like, don't do that. That looks weird. Okay? We got gravity and shit we're trying to control. Don't throw your head around like that.
I'm I'm gonna take my brief moment and say I hope Cincinnati. I say take the Cincinnati points.
Well, Shaq's doing it for fancy purposes.
the hell is that?
Points. If Chase could pop off this game, man, that helps me in fantasy so bad. And y'all can't touch it.
No.
I'll see you
No.
I'll see you next week here, mailing in fantasy. Okay, if that's the case.
You guys
Oh,
are in
I'll
the
whoop
playoffs
your
now?
ass. Don't worry about it.
I forget. I think I play Evan this week in playoffs. And
I
then-
play Team Johnson or something. I don't know who I play. Somebody I'm gonna beat, and then I'll beat whoever Evan and Shaq is the next week.
So
I'm taking the belt,
for-
people.
If
gonna happen.
A repeat of playing Millen again after this if he wins. So
Is this the week where you guys play each other 2 times in a row, or is that the finals?
I'm not quite sure.
Oh, do you play 2 times? Oh, do you have it set it up for 2 times in a row?
It is for the playoffs.
Okay, so in the playoffs, Shaq will play his opponent 2 times in a row. I'll play my opponent 2 times in a row. But I'm pretty sure with the way that Shaq's been playing and the way my team's been playing, that we'll meet
You'll meet in the finals.
in the finals. I'm pretty sure it's going to be Shaq and I.
Oh.
because I'm still. He's projected to be in first place, and I'm projected to be in second place right now. So by the way it looks of it, I'm not. Knock on wood. I'm not gonna call nothing out, but I should see Malin again for the finals and play
I
it out.
would love that.
And you did beat me a couple weeks ago, did you not? You did.
Yeah.
I mean, I did have like 3 starters out, but you still beat me.
Yeah, it was just
So
last
and
week.
you kind of he kind of whooped the shit out of me. So
Well, I'm not gonna say
he's a force to be reckoned with.
Everybody, Malin, you take care of Azan, or Shaq, you take care of Evan. In 2 weeks, we'll reconvene.
We gonna have a fun
I'm
time.
just saying, come next week, we give you guys an update week to week on where we at, and we could
Right.
possibly be talking about me and Malin talking about who's gonna become first and
Right.
second.
Okay, can I just point out again that Shaq is talking about fantasy football when we're trying to get through the goddamn Ride or Die 5? Like we're
So
just
the one time that I did was the problem, but y'all,
this man.
you and G Money on a week to week basis. Turn right or die.
Jim Money ain't been talking about fantasy football. His team's been bad all year.
Hey, this is the loser squad.
My team's so bad that I'm picking up quarterbacks that are playing in the XFL.
Yeah.
Yeah, we need to put all of our
Just
fucking
a cou-
players in the XFL. Jesus.
Or what you can do is whatever players you got left over, go ahead and come talk to me
They're
real
not
quick.
going anywhere. They're going home to their couches. That's what they're doing. Nestor, who's winning
Jesus
Tampa
Lord.
and Cincinnati?
No, I think Divorce Tom is gonna do good this game. I have to pick an upset.
Just like last
And
week.
we are all picking, we're all picking the same teams to win. And I learned my lesson last week. So you know what? I'm gonna pick Cincy.
Yeah, but you're the only one under 500 in your picks. Why are you going away from everybody else? Mister?
He's not.
You can't afford to lose when everybody else wins. Yeah. I mean, it's typical. I mean, you're wearing a Heats hat. I can't expect anything less. But all right,
I like my hat. So
that's cool.
Hats.
I like it.
Tasteful.
I mean, I refuse to drink out of the Miami Dolphins cup, but I support the Heat.
You should take a drink out of that.
No,
You'll die of some sort of weird sickness.
just like the Dolphins, a couple crumble in my hand as I try to drink.
Die from pneumonia.
Yes.
Christ.
What?
Go ahead and
What?
Did you already give your pick?
I already gave my pick. This is why you guys can't drink tequila on this goddamn show. You guys have been giggling and laughing the whole freaking time. Jesus Christ.
It's not our fault. Look, this battle of the show took 40
We got
minutes.
we got 2 picks left. Get your shit together. Let's
So
go.
a spirit flight.
That's right.
All right, we're all together still. Just letting everybody know. If anyone wants
No,
to differ-
not Nestor. Not Nestor. No,
He
Nestor
took
picked the
Bengals. He
Bucks.
still took the Bengals.
Jalen. No, he didn't. Did he really?
You took the Bengals, right?
He said he picked the upset.
No.
He said he was going to, but then he agreed with all of us.
Clearly, we didn't learn from last week.
You went through all that, Nestor, and then you still picked it. You son of a. Okay.
Do good, but he's gonna lose.
What time?
My phone is picking up everything we're saying, so it's just writing for me at this point. Please stop.
What?
Hey
Fuck
Siri,
you.
stop writing for me. Okay. Anyway, Giants at the
Yeah.
Commanders. Lock the phone. Giants at the Commanders Sunday night. The Commanders, I believe, are 4.5 points. Yeah, 4.5 point favorites at home. Yeah. I don't think I've gone first yet, so let me go first here. Commanders are playing a team that they should beat, so let me go ahead and take the Giants in the 4.5 points. This will be a close game. Either way, this will be a close game. So give me the Giants. They're a little sad boy squad right now. So I think this will be like a field goal that they can come within, whether they win or lose. Give me the Giants in the 4.5.
Are you saying the Giants are plus 4.5?
Yep, on the road. Yep.
Giants. I don't trust the Commanders, Washington football team, Redskins. Kiss my ass. I don't give a shit about them. Taking the Giants on this one.
Shaq.
I'm also taking the Giants because
God damn.
First of all, y'all should have known that because there's no way that I was going to go ahead and pick Morgan and Ryan's team, the goddamn racist ass Redskins ass team's name, and pick it to win nothing.
Now it's Morgan Ryan's racist.
Like, you know what,
It's
we're
such a
gonna
shit show.
Group of people and call the Redskins and think that it's okay. So fuck the Redskins, and we're gonna go ahead and Giants on the points. I wasn't gonna pick this team. I do not care who they're playing. I refuse to pick the Washington team to win anything at all.
They could be playing Ben Hill and Shaq would still take Ben Hill.
Yes, Ben Hill.
I would just like to remind our audience, if they have not been ever listening to us for a while, that a lot of Shaq's hate comes from 3 years ago when his team was 11-0. He was playing the Washington football team, and he was supposed to eat a sock if they lost, and he never ate the goddamn sock. So I'm always going to bring that up. He just put it in his mouth, chewed it, and spit it back out. And ever since then, I would hate any team, Shaq, that made me put a sock in my mouth too. I would too, but I just want to let America know why you have such a hatred towards them.
Washington Power Rangers, I don't give a fuck what their name are. They will, I hope they never win a game again. I hope they don't.
Can we please get
They'll need to eat the sock, Shaq.
Washington Pittsburgh rematch?
I hope they do. And
please.
I don't give a damn if Trubisky, Kenny 2-inch Pickett is out there throwing the ball around. I don't give a damn if
you get Terry Bradshaw's ass out there.
Maybe this team made me look stupid. I would go 11-0.
This is-
First loss gonna be against the goddamn Redskins, and then we somehow look stupid against the Browns a couple weeks later. Fuck the Redskins.
This is why it's. And you guys used to blame the Ride or Die in 5 on me going long. I mean,
Are you saying I'm the problem?
hey, by the way, Jalen, your battery exhausted on the damn camera again.
That means we need to hurry the fuck up. Go ahead, Nestor.
I'll do you guys all a favor. I will pick the Washington Commanders to win this game.
Hold on. Are you picking them to
cover the points?
How you doing me a favor by agreeing?
He's not agreeing. He's taking the other
Wait,
side.
what? He's not agreeing. Okay, no more tequila for you people.
Shaq is just thinking of that.
Like a bunch of monkeys trying to have football over there.
Vikings, they beat the Eagles, but besides that, they beat Atlanta, and they'll cover the points against sad boy team right now. So yeah,
sad boy squad.
Thank me later, guys. Thank me later.
All right, Drake.
Squad is yours.
Go ahead, G Money.
I'm taking the Washington sexual offenders.
Okay.
Basically,
God
they're getting Coach Montel Sweet and Chase Young back, they're going to shut down that run. And Daniel Jones is going to prove once again that he is not a quarterback.
We ain't gotta do all that.
Isn't his name Sweat, not Sweet?
Only when he works hard is his name Sweat.
I mean, he's playing for the sexual offenders apparently, so gotta get
They
that
call
work
him
in.
Sweet.
Sweet Sweat. All right, let's go. We got it. We're all going to hell. Why not? I already went.
Wait, who did you take?
I-
Oh, you took the Giants and the points.
There's only 2 teams, Jalen.
There are
Jesus
only
Christ.
two teams.
Seems like there's one
You took the
team.
Giants.
Okay, so G Money and Nestor are on the commies train, and then the rest of us are on the Giants, right?
I would just like to point out that we called the Redskins racist, sexual offenders, and communists. All in
Everything
Which
except
speaks
the
a lot about Washington politics all at the same time. So let's go ahead and get into the last game here. This is the last game, right?
We got 4 more coming up.
Jesus Christ.
There's 4 more coming. The only thing coming is a freaking Browns quarterback. So let's go ahead and move on to
Oh, Jesus.
Last game of the week is the Monday night game. We gave you guys a little sneak peek to this, little OnlyFans trailer to this earlier, but we got the Rams at the Packers, where the Packers are 7-point favorites at home to beat Baker Mayfield. Who do you guys like in this one? This one's a little doozy. Not really a doozy because I already said I'm taking the Packers, so give me the Packers to cover.
Oh yeah, A-Rod's got proper shroom and go ahead and ball out before he plays this game. So I'm going to go ahead and pick A-Rod on the shrooms to go ahead and win this game.
Let's go Shroom A-Rod. Got divorced Tom and Shroom A-Rod.
You can't tell me A-Rod with a ponytail don't look like he takes shrooms on a Wednesday afternoon just cause. Good, take shroom A-Rod to win this game.
If anybody wants to volunteer to go next, help yourself.
This shows that a downward spiral.
Go ahead, Nestor.
Yeah, no, this isn't. No, Green Bay and the points. Definitely. Yeah. Next.
Let's go Shrooms. Go ahead, G-Money.
It's going to be Packers minus the points. I mean, Baker Mayfield had his one shining moment, and that's going to be it. The Packers will run on them, and even though Rodgers may be high on shrooms, he's still probably going to throw for 250 yards and 2 touchdowns.
Go ahead, G-Money. Or sorry, go ahead, Mill.
Holy shit. Guys. Wow. Yeah. No more Don Julio for you guys.
Literally just finished talking. Go ahead, G-Money.
No, he already went. My turn. I'm going Packers. Jesus Christ. We're all picking the same damn team 4 times. Yeah, we're so screwed. I'm not even going to go into it because Jalen's going to ask me in 2 minutes what my pick is again anyway. So I'm going to go ahead and wait till then to give a soliloquy about it. So,
Only game we differed on.
He'll slip back to the Miami Buffalo game, and then who are you picking?
Miami Buffalo.
Yeah.
You guys yeah, the only difference was the Washington and New York game, which was me, Shaq, and Malin are on the New York and the points. Nestor and G-Money, Washington to cover. Outside of that, we were all agreeing on everything else, so we didn't.
we're all equally fucked.
Yeah,
So that's cool.
We didn't learn our lesson from last week.
No, we didn't. Oh
That is
God!
where we
All
are
right.
at. Yeah, that's about a show. Do you guys have anything else you want to mention
About
before
a
we
show.
get out?
6-hour show you just ran.
Nope.
I
Um,
enjoy running with y'all. Y'all are great folks. It's a great show every Wednesday or Thursday. Approximately 9
Yeah.
o'clock to about 10:30 p.m. whenever we start the
And
show.
whenever we come in.
I always know that Shaq is nice and drunk when he starts talking about how much he loves people.
I like to express
But
myself.
no, I mean you can, but you never do it unless you're nice and looped up there, Shaq. Don't worry about it. So yeah, it was a good show. We started a little bit late, 12:06, ending. It's great. I'm really happy that everyone picked the same thing on Ride or Ride and Fight. It makes me really feel good about my picks.
So we go 1-5 next week again.
So I still think that Shaq is taking the same piece as me on purpose so I can't catch him, but whatever.
I match him for the rest of the season and get catch him.
It's 2 weeks in a row. we'll
folks,
tank together. Don't worry about it, Shaq.
that will do it for this week. We've got there's a lot riding fantasy wise this weekend. We will see what happens. Update you guys next week and go Boston Celtics.
Okay.
We will see you all
Go
next week.
Boston.
Go fantasy
Peace.
football.
Peace out.